Welcome into OutKick the Show, Friday edition. I hope all of you are having fantastic days, wherever you may be across this great country or this great land. It has been a wild, wild week for me and for OutKick. I am ready to roll into the weekend. Focus on Little League Baseball coaching, which is now my specialty. But we've got a lot to dive into here to finish off this show. And then I've got Fox Bet Live, which is coming up momentarily right at the top of the hour, 5 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Mountain, 2 o'clock Pacific. Right off the top, I want to say congratulations to the Atlanta Braves. Yes, I know they are sitting at just 15-16 on the season. And I know that one of the worst decisions in the history of any commissioner of any sport of all time was made against the Atlanta Braves. But today they go back to 100% capacity against the Phillies at right around 7 o'clock Eastern. For the rest of the season, anyone who wants to go to Truist Park can go watch the Atlanta Braves in person. They join the Texas Rangers as the only two Major League Baseball teams with 100% capacity at this point in time. Props to the Braves for getting to 100% capacity. Also, certainly continued props to the Texas Rangers, who proved all of the experts wrong by starting over a month ago with 100% full stadiums. And since that time, the number of COVID cases has continued to decline in the Dallas area, proving basically beyond a shadow of a doubt that we are ready for 100% capacity in sports. And by the way, Canelo's fight tonight, or I guess Saturday, sorry. I think it's Saturday or is it tonight? I can't even keep up. Anyway, it's this weekend in Jerry World. It's going to be over 70,000 people allowed into that venue for that game, for that match, for that fight, which will be the biggest crowd that we have had for any sporting event since March of last year when everything started to shut down from COVID. So it's time. I'm going to keep hammering this until it occurs everywhere. 100% capacity should be permitted in every outdoor stadium and every indoor arena everywhere in the country. It is past time for 100% normalcy to return in this country, and I am ready for it to happen. Speaking of 100% normalcy, some of you out there are in parts of the country that are still severely locked down. I can tell you this right now, the state of Tennessee is not one of those places. Come spend your tourism dollars in my home state. Come to my home city of Nashville. The Grand Ole Opry will officially open to 100% capacity next week indoors. Out at the Opryland amusement park, used to be an amusement park area, one of the worst decisions in the history of the city. Pretty phenomenal to check it out and be able to get back to 100% capacity there. All of this is starting to happen in rapid fashion. And I got to tell you, we got some breaking news for you. And breaking news, I mean, just in terms of not being a total nincompoop when it comes to taking care of your entire body, including your below the belt region. We now have the Manscaped product. The Lawnmower 4.0 is here. I'm one of the first people to try it, and I got to tell you, I'm absolutely blown away. Just in time for Mother's Day, what could be better than a finely trimmed below the belt region for you? A new multifunction on-off switch. New trimmer allows you to custom trim all over the place. And right now, the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer is waterproof. You can even use it in the shower. It doesn't even need to be charged. It can be wireless. If you're still trimming your face with your ball trimmer, it's time to make some changes in your life. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code DBAP20 at manscaped.com. Again, their slogan is a good one. Your balls will thank you. Again, that's 20% off and free shipping with the code DBAP20 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use the code DBAP20. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Speaking of the right tools for the job, Look, I don't know if you saw this story, but Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher kind of going back and forth a little bit in the offseason. We need a little bit of SEC excitement, some good old-fashioned football rivalries. Jimbo Fisher said Texas A&M was going to beat Alabama and Nick Saban's ass sooner rather than later. Nick Saban was asked about those comments yesterday, and he immediately said in reply, in golf, which is an all-time line. Now, Saban followed it up with more complimentary statements about Jimbo Fisher, who used to be one of his assistants, and the status of the Texas A&M program. But in golf is an all-time line from Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide about the rivalry going on against Texas A&M. Since the Aggies came into the SEC, they've won one time back in 2012, I believe it was, when Johnny Manziel and the A&M Aggies went on the road as big underdogs against the Crimson Tide and won that game. I believe they were 17-point underdogs the week after Alabama had just gone on the road and beat LSU. That Aggies team, by the way, might have won the national championship if there had been a playoff in existence. They were playing so well at the end of the year after losing, I believe, to Florida and LSU, if I'm not mistaken, earlier in the year. And then they got white hot. That's one of the most fun teams I've ever watched. But the Alabama-Texas A&M rivalry has not really been much of a rivalry other than that one massive upset that happened. Another story that's out there. Did you see the name, image, and likeness law that was passed by Georgia? A lot of attention. People are focusing on it and saying, well, the school gets to keep 75% of all money and only 25% is going to the athlete. I'm surprised at the lack of intelligence surrounding the discussion on name, image, and likeness. Now, I'm a capitalist. I want you all to make as much money as possible. I want to make money, as much money as possible. That is, to me, what distinguishes the American capitalistic system compared to every other country that has ever existed in the world. Our capitalistic market-based economy is the most successful in the history of the world. It's taken more people out of poverty. It has led to more human progress than any other economic system in the history of the world, okay? So, I am in favor of individuals being able to maximize their overall earnings potential. But these state laws, irrespective of the fact that you've got a cobbling together now of a ton of different state laws, which are going to create all sorts of messes in this universe, the larger issue is we're going to have lawsuits over Title IX and the fact that by and large, male athletes are going to be able to make far more money under name, image, likeness rules than female athletes. And what we don't know is, will those be allowed to consider in compliance with the larger context here of these laws? And I'm not sure what the answer is, but I think this Georgia policy is actually going to look something like more so what the name, image, and likeness is going to resemble after the courts get involved. Because right now under Title IX, you have to give equal treatment to all scholarship athletes, male or female. That means, in theory, a women's swimmer is of the same value as a quarterback on the football team. Same thing true of a soccer player and a point guard. So the question that I have, and I think it's a really good one because it's sort of an uncertain legal arena, is how are you going to allow individual scholarship athletes who happen to be male to make infinitely more money while the women make nothing at all? I think what's going to end up happening is a form of socialism here. I think all of the money that athletes get for their name, image, and likeness is going to end up in a pool, and it's going to be redistributed across all of the athletic programs and all of the teams potentially in individual schools, and men and women are going to end up with the same amount of money. That is my guess. I think it's going to be incredibly complicated. There are going to be many different court rulings. It is going to take years to figure out exactly what's going on here. But I think Georgia's policy as a state is actually closer to what the courts are going to end up enforcing than many of the other policies that are out there as well. I want to tell you, do you know where I was when I negotiated my deal with Fox? I was sitting in the X chair. This chair right here, the most comfortable chair that I have ever had. Without the X chair, you are selling your body and your productivity short. No other chair out there can offer these benefits. They have great massage therapy, lumbar support, so many different amazing features. Heat, massage therapy as well. I love it. I've never had an office chair that looks this good or is more comfortable to sit in. Secrets, not only their patented DVL support, but also the heat technology that I have. It is absolutely fantastic. 4 massage modes, fast warming heat technology, makes you feel better at the end of the day than you did before. If you're sitting in a chair all day and it's not a comfortable chair, trust me, you're going to know it at the end of the day, especially if you're working as much as I am. That's why I'm telling you, you need to go to xchairclay.com. Xchair on sale now for $100 off. Go to xchairclay.com now. That's the letter X, chair, CLAY.com, or call 1-844-4XChair. Xchair has a 30-day guarantee of complete comfort. You can finance your purchase for as little as $30 a month. Go to xchairclay.com now and use the code XWheels for free X-Wheel blade casters. That's xchairclay.com. Did you see this story? I hope all of you are going to make it through the weekend, but some of you might not, because there is a 23-ton, 10-story rocket that may fall to Earth and kill you this weekend. Of course, it's a Chinese rocket that is falling to Earth and putting everyone in peril. No one knows where it might land. 23-ton, 10-story. I thought this was an entertaining story, and I was like, man, you know what? This is a fun story to sit around and kind of think about, because the odds of any one person on Earth actually being in peril from this is comparatively low. But I tweeted out our link to this story, and Todd Fuhrman just came out of nowhere off the top rope on me, and it was actually brutal by him. I said there's a small chance you could be killed by a 10-story, 23-ton Chinese rocket falling to Earth. And then Fuhrman, my co-host on Fox Bet Live, out of nowhere, said, and yet still a better chance of this occurring than Tennessee football winning a national title the next 10 years. What an unbelievable, savage attack out of nowhere from Fuhrman. Just the Pearl Harbor of Twitter attacks on my Tennessee football allegiance. I am shook to my core. I hope you all don't get killed by that 23-ton, 10-story Chinese rocket falling to Earth. A couple of more entertaining stories as we roll into the weekend. Did you see the story out of Belgium? This is actually pretty unbelievable. The Belgium-France border, 200 years old. And there is a Belgian farmer who decided there was a rock in the way of his tractor. And so he picked up the rock. It was a stone. And it turns out that it was a 200-year-old border between Belgium and France. So this Belgian farmer accidentally invaded France and changed the long-time border between Belgium and France. Now, that's a difficult story, funny story. What's even more amazing is France actually surrendered to Belgium 5 minutes after this old man farmer moved the stone, thereby invading the country. They went ahead and pulled down the flag, and now Belgium owns France. So that is an unexpected potential outcome. The French falling yet again. By the way, Napoleon, 200th anniversary, I believe, of Napoleon's death, has been a wildly controversial time in France. French President Macron went to Les Invalides, which is where Napoleon's tomb is. The woke crew, and yes, they have them in France as well, is demanding that things be moved there. It is a fascinating story to see how all of that will end up shaking out. But I got to tell you right now, erectile dysfunction affects over half of all men, but it doesn't have to make you feel like half of a man. Since 2017, My Dr. Hank has been making America hard again. My Dr. Hank helps you get low-cost ED meds and overcome the psychological and emotional barriers to getting ED treatment. They secure your prescription and then ship it to you discreetly every month from USA pharmacies for as low as $2 per pill. So don't wait. Join the movement to make America hard again. Go to My Dr. Hank. Incredible. Just an incredible tagline here. Go to mydrhank.com/clay and sign up. Tell Dr. Hank I sent you, and he'll give you 50% off your first subscription order. That's mydrhank.com/clay. Offer available for only a limited time. Couple of more stories heading into the weekend. The Athletic, desperate for a partner. Sam Amico at OutKick has been covering this well. They employ over 600 people, have still not made a profit, have raised over $100 million. They tried to get Axios to buy them. Axios was uninterested. They then tried to sell themselves to the New York Times. The New York Times was uninterested. We don't know how this story is going to end. We know there's a hiring freeze going on. But larger context, I'm not sure there was any media company that was more harmed by COVID than The Athletic, who employed a ton of writers who basically cheerleaded for COVID. They were the Corona Bro sports media company of record. They cheered, it felt like, every single cancellation. They argued that sports shouldn't be played at all. And it has been going on now for a year that they have been driving the Corona Bro train. And I think it has led to a lot of issues with their ability to retain subscribers. And as a result, they are trying to sell so all of their venture capital money can get out of the company. The Athletic, desperate for a partner, desperate for someone to buy them. 600 employees, no profit. I'm curious to see how this is going to end up shaking out for them. Finally, a fun story to end the day. Did you guys see about the 4-year-old boy who bought $2,619 worth of Spongebob popsicles? Again, over $2,600 worth of Spongebob popsicles on his mom's Amazon account. 4-year-old, all of these different boxes. I think she said 51 different full-size boxes of Spongebob popsicles. The family did not have a lot of money. You can't return, makes some sense, popsicles. And so they did a GoFundMe, and there was immediately a massive outpouring of response, and over $3,000 was raised, meaning that the popsicles are now all paid for. The 4-year-old who loves SpongeBob and ordered $2,600 worth, straight incredible move there by him. I thought that was a good story to send you into the weekend. I am going to be coaching Little League Baseball. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. I hope that all of you remember to take care of the important women in your life, your mom, your wife, your mother-in-law, your sisters, whoever it might be, your moms, your dads, everybody out there. Make sure you take care of the mom on Mother's Day. It's a great line that I heard said. I'm not sure who initially said it, but a mom is only as happy as her least happy child. I think that's very true, and I hope that your mom is happy because you are doing well, and I hope all of you out there are going to have a fantastic Mother's Day weekend. I'll be live in about 15 minutes on Fox Bet Live. This is OutKick, DBAP, unless you need to SBAP, on this incredible weekend. Thank you for all of your support this week and every other week for supporting OutKick. Thank you, guys. See y'all.